Hey everybody, it's Cameron with House Property Group again. I just got back from the Texas Realtors Conference in Houston and just wanted to share some of the things that we talked about a lot. And one of the most interesting things that was sort of I would say a theme throughout the week was how people are adjusting to the changes in our market by controlling their schedule. And one of the main things that I heard from a lot of people and that we talked about in a couple of mastermind opportunities with some other agents and brokers was really about how to stay consistent in your mornings. And what does that look like? What tools are people using, and how are they staying ahead of basically the challenges of the market? And so the team asked me to just kind of talk a little bit about my morning routine, what that looks like, and talk through some of the challenges I'm having. And so that's sort of the theme of today. So I think the big thing is you got to get a routine. For me, what that looks like is about wake up around 5 o'clock. First few things I'm doing is to really wake myself up. So I'm getting out of bed, going directly to brush my teeth, wash my face off, and kind of get ready for the day, right? To do anything and everything. Since I'm over 40, I have to stretch every day so that my back doesn't go out. So that's the first physical thing I'm doing of the day. Then after that, I have a meditation routine to just kind of calm myself down, give myself 5 to 10 minutes to just take a breath. There's nothing fancy, nothing transcendental about it. Sometimes it's literally finding something on an Apple app that just makes me slow down and stop worrying about everything in the world and just take a breath. So that's the intent, is just to slow down, take a silent moment with yourself. I find that a lot of people like to pray in the morning. Sometimes you just literally want to sit in silence, especially in our industry. So that's a big piece of the puzzle that I think has really changed my outlook on life and allowed me to really just be more calm in a lot of different situations. And so that's where the big piece of that puzzle is. Then after that, I'm usually going to journal, or I go directly into the gym. Sometimes putting down my thoughts on paper is a big I would say component to that meditation piece. To just get it all out. Get it out of your head, get it out of the paper, wipe the slate clean, and then you can start the day. So after that, it's gym time. That varies for me. Sometimes it's cardio on the elliptical because I'm old and can't run on the pavement anymore, and sometimes it's weights. Sometimes it's just yoga or stretching. So I don't do anything formal in that space. It's really just to get activity in your world. Then after that, it's time to run into the house or shower. And then go get the kids ready for school. And so after that, we're out of the door by 7:30, 7:45 to get the kids to school. The goal is to get here to the office or to my first appointment if I'm walking property around 8 o'clock, so that we're starting prep for the day by 8:30 at the very latest. So usually what that prep for me looks like is just figuring out what's going on in the day. I hit our CRM system to see what's happened the night before. If there's appointments or conversations that need to occur, those get set at that point in time. Some of the tools I utilize for that are timing my texts. So if I know there's a contact point that I need to make and I know that I'm going to need to make it between a certain time, I'll time that text and write a note in my CRM that says, hey, make sure that they get this text or follow up with so-and-so at this time. And then you basically set up your call list for the first 15 minutes you're in the office. That's also when I'm going to prep my water for the morning. I'm going to make sure that I've got my call list set out and ready to go. And if there's anything that's hanging from the day before, like a contract or some sort of paperwork, I'm going to go ahead and do that, knock that out, and get that ready to be presented at whatever time. Another tool I use there is timed emails. So if I have the chance to get it together and I know I don't need to hit somebody at 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that, I'll time that email and then set an appointment with myself later on to make sure that we have the conversation around what that looks like. So one of the other things that we talked a lot about morning routine is to make sure that you have something that's consistent and predictable. And so because of that, on our team, we've set up basically a power up. It's a time to spend some time with each other to start the day off in the right space, and more importantly, to follow a schedule and follow a routine. And what that looks like for us is we start our days off with gratitude. We want to talk about what we're grateful for in life, what we're grateful for in the business, and we all get coffee once a week. You get a freebie in the week. And so we start off with gratitude, then we're going to talk a little bit about some kind of a learning system. Usually it's tech-based for us, simply because we've made a commitment to move back into the world of technology and social media and producing content like these videos that are going to be a benefit to not only us, but to our agents and to our clients to have a base of operations for industry information and for skill set building that may be a benefit to more people than we think. So that's really where we start there, and then from there we're making our daily commitment, and that's sort of the one thing that if you do it today, it's a win for the day. So what's your most important task, what's your most important meeting, your most important relationship that you're going to foster today, and what are we going to commit to today that we can hold each other accountable to? So we do all those things at 9 o'clock every morning. It's either in person or on Google Meets for us, and then from there the goal is to be out of there by 9:30 to start doing role play with each other and to test out anything that is something we've got stumped on in the market, or if it's just something that we're working on. If we have an event that's coming up, that's usually what the role play looks like, so that by 9:35, 9:40, we're prepping for the rest of the morning until we start lead generating at 10 o'clock. So our lead gen block is 10 to 12, and that's mainly because the majority of the team has the most energy in the morning, and so we're going down that path to make it consistent. And at that point in time, you're lead generating, doing what you do best. I'm a cold caller, so I've got my headset on, and we're making the calls, talking to people, setting up appointments and coffees and all the things like that. I've got a couple other people that they function better after 1, and so they're setting up their day, doing paperwork and talking to the clients that they're going to be meeting with between 1 and 2 because they're in-person folks. I've got another that's when they go and they do coffee. They have coffee with their friends and family and really work their sphere from that standpoint. And then in the past, we've also had folks that were geographical farmers and door knockers, and so they're prepping for the first hour and executing the second hour. So that's what our consistency looks like, and we do this on a daily, Monday through Friday, so that Saturdays and Sundays are either by appointment only, they're open house days, or it's a day off with our friends and family, or just even hanging out by yourself if that's your move. And so I think the big thing with this is just to also realize that we're not perfect people, and we are really great at being our own, I would say, worst critics. We're harder on ourselves than anybody ever is, and yet we get so caught up in the fear of not being perfect and not being the Instagram superstar, the TikTok superstar, that we forget that at the end of the day, our clients are also people. And asking for forgiveness, being humble, and being authentic is really who we are in the world. And so why would we be anything different in the business? And so the goal is always to take time and take efforts to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And that stuff is what compounds over time when you stay consistent. So even when we have a bad day, or we fail, or we forget to do, the video commitment that we made, or we forget to make a post, or if we forget to make a phone call, the best thing you can do is fall on the sword, say I'm sorry, apologize, and then move on down the road. But do it in a way that's respectful, and do it in a way that you would want your kids to emulate if you have them, or do it in a way that you would want to have, a response to you. So we really not let ourselves off the hook, but we let ourselves be, I would say, a little bit graceful when it comes to not being perfect. And so I would encourage anybody and everybody out there, just don't be so hard on yourselves. There's plenty enough in the world, especially this year, that has been a challenge and something that has not been perfect. It's not been something that has gone the way that we all wanted it to. And yet at the end of the day, if you really piled up the wins, piled up the positivity, we're all moving in the direction of being better. And I think that's the main thing that we really focus on in the mornings, and especially with this routine, is that the consistency doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to move forward. So imperfect perfection moving forward is far, far better than no movement to prep to be perfect. So at the end of the day, keep moving forward, folks. I hope that you found some value in this. If you have, we'd love to get connected and talk more about anything that you want, really. We're a real estate company, and we would love to help buyers and sellers and investors buy, sell, invest, and rent property. And at the same time, we're here in the people business, so we want to connect with you and get to know you better. So you can reach out to us at www.housepg.com/connect, or you can call us at the office, 432-704-5400. We'll see you guys next time.